So I've been meaning to review Rules for Radicals for about 2 years now, and it was actually supposed to be the first book I reviewed on this for this series. But it's so hard to review because I want to get it right. So this might go a little long. But first off, I just gotta say, read it. Like, no matter what I say after this, read this book. It is a book that I've listened to about 6 different interpretations of before I read it, and then when I read it, I was like, "This, you gotta read it." It's something that this is ideal for a 3-minute review because you shouldn't be getting a review of this book. You should be reading the book itself. Now, as for the book, you'll see like people on the left, people on the right, like a lot of the time they'll talk about how it's an evil book, it's a horrible book, it's the worst thing ever. Like it's Satanist tactics. He devotes the book to Lucifer at the very beginning. This guy is a horrible person. But I think that's, while not necessarily wrong, it is a very important book that you must read because it is correct. And that's because the people that complain about it a lot are interpreting it through a moral lens, which you cannot do. Because, like, if you were to read a biology textbook, you're not looking for the morality of what's in there. You're just looking for facts. That's it. That's how you should read this book, like a biology textbook. You're not looking for morals. You're not looking for what you should do. You're looking for what is true. And everything in this book is true. Because it is a book of tactics. Yeah, like the subtitle of the book has the word pragmatic in it. That's what this is. It is a pragmatic book. He wrote it as, like, Machiavelli's The Prince is a book on power for those that have power and wish to keep it. This is a book for those that do not have power and want it. And for that reason, it is a good book in that sense. Now, he talks in the beginning on means and ends, like, do the ends justify the means? And he says that's a stupid question. Because if you're someone that's poor, if you're someone that, like, has nothing, then the means don't matter. Like, again, if you're starving on the street, remember, like, you think of the scenario when it comes to, would you steal bread from a baker to feed your starving family? In the sense of, if you're starving and your family's starving, means stop being important. It's all down to, what can I do to survive? And again, regardless, we're not talking about morals here. We're just talking about the facts of reality. And he is correct in that sense. Now, if you were to take this book and just assume, and then not apply morality on top of the tactics of this book, then yes, you would be an evil person. Because he's just talking about there are the haves, there are the have-nots, and there are have-a-little-want-mores. From what I can tell, Alinsky was a communist, or at least a left-wing, a pretty, like a leftist, you could say, in that sense. So again, I would not agree with his morals. I think he was wrong. I don't think a lot of what he did was a benefit to this world. But when it comes to writing about tactics, he is a genius in this sense. He knows what he's talking about when it comes purely to tactics. And that's what you have to read this book on. Because when you read the book and it talks about how to get power, all of these tactics are legitimate. He's not wrong. Which is why you have to read it. Again, if you're concerned with a book such as this, if you're interested in power politics, that you have to then apply your own morality on top of this and decide where you're willing to go. And I assume you take a tactic other than, like, hey, I have nothing and I want power. I'm assuming you're in the sense of, like, you have a moral goal. This book can tell you how to reach it. Because, again, he would say, like, if you don't have anything, then the people that have things are the oppressors and you should take for them. I disagree with that. But that's not what this book is about. Again, it's a book of tactics, and for that reason alone, you have to read it and understand it. And now Alinsky, like, you can say whatever you want about Alinsky, but again, the book itself, I cannot find anything that is incorrect on a purely factual basis, ignoring morality. So again, it's like, would you be willing to do a horrible thing to get what you want? I mean, he's correct when he says if you have nothing, you're more likely to not care about means. But it's something where I would say, like, hey, I have a moral code, and some of these tactics would violate that moral code. So I won't pursue those tactics. But the tactics themselves are still sound. Like, they still work. If you're not willing to go to that length, then that's fine. Like, a lot of these things, I would not be willing to go that far. But they're still accurate in the sense that they work. And that's what I think you need to take those from this book. So yes, it did go long because I think this review was good, or at least I'm satisfied with it. If you read the book, let me know what you think of it. Leave a comment. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. Read the book. Seriously, read the book. I'm pretty sure I read it online. I have a copy myself. I've actually paid for a copy, but I'm pretty sure I found an online version too. So look it up. But thank you so much for watching or listening, depending on what platform you're using. Thanks for watching.